This right here is my grandparents' farm, pasture down here, and it's my grandma's house right there. Hey, there's my girl outside. Let me show you on a map where we're headed today. We are going from Rexburg here, out Highway 33, past Newdale and Teton, out here. We'll take a side road up to the Teton River, and then we'll come back and go up to the next canyon here and go down this road to Green Canyon Hot Springs. We'll turn back around, come back through Rexburg and out Highway 33 again, out to the Manan Buttes right here. It's a beautiful morning here in Idaho. I am headed east, obviously, towards the Tetons from Rexburg, Idaho, on Highway 33. Really pretty farmlands. Normally when the sky is clear, you can see the Grand Tetons from here, just past those other line of mountains there. But it's harvest time, which creates a lot of particulates in the air, and so don't have as clear a view as you normally would. I'm riding today with my brother-in-law, who's in front of me on a Yamaha V-Star Classic 650, and my dad, who's behind me, on a Yamaha V-Star 1100. We're headed today to see something very historic that happened in this area, so I'm looking forward to taking a ride out there and talking about that for a little bit. There's my shadow. I'm on my BMW 1150 RT that I keep in Idaho. You know, motorcycle in every port kind of a thing. It's a really good cruising bike. It does this kind of ride where you're just out on these sort of straight, flat roads, mostly flat, really well. So enjoying it today. It's about 65 degrees. It's starting to warm up. Today the high should be around 95, so we're early. It's about 8 o'clock this morning, maybe 8:15, and it's going to be a nice day, so thought we'd get out and do a motorcycle ride before it got too hot. Alright, so you can just see this canyon right here, and this is what we're going to stop and talk about. This is the site of the Teton Dam, 1976. This dam had just finished construction and they were filling it. The dam broke and flooded the valley. All right, Aaron, so tell us about your experience.
My experience?
Or, well, you and your dad.
I was gonna say, my experience was I was at a birthday party at Green Canyon upstream, and I got to have a sleepover with my friends for like 5 days because we couldn't get back to Rexburg. That was my experience, but my dad was here at the dam. I think he was right up here was the office. He was an accountant. It just happened to be his day to be at the office, and so when the workers at the dam told him something was wrong, and then, you know, they started trying to backfill it with bulldozers and stuff, but my dad started, you know, he course, he called headquarters, and they called the state. But then my dad tried to call radio stations and, you know, the local police, but there had been so many prank calls about that none of them believed him. So he called somewhere in there. He called my mom, and we lived in Sugar City at the time. And my mom just started going door to door, telling people that the dam was breaking, and they knew that my dad worked up there, so they believed him. And word spread really quick through Sugar City. So Sugar City was pretty well evacuated by the time the authorities got there to start the evacuation.
Yeah.
But yeah, my dad was here that day, and he took pictures with the company camera of, you know, when the dam actually breached. There was, you know, a big power station right down there, and he had pictures of the power station exploding when the water hit it.
Wow. Did it go on the far side first?
Yeah, I believe so.
That's what I think I remembered.
Because it was that canyon wall just being too porous that eroded the dam from the inside out. Yeah, broke the dam.
And it was as high as the spillway at the top, right?
Well,
all the way across?
Yeah, the reservoir was almost completely full. And I don't know how full is full, you know, probably 20 feet below the peak of that dam there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my dad,
It's easy the hindsight things anyway.
Yeah.
We used to come out, my dad used to bring us out here to see, like, all the huge, was just moving dirt in and out of here. And he took me one time, statute of limitations is up, right? So I can tell this story.
That's right. It's been long enough.
So he took me in a 2-wheel drive company truck and drove down that spillway. And we got down to a certain point, and it looks like you're just looking straight down, and he tried to back up it, and it was just spinning the tires. It was
You're committed, aren't you?
It was an exciting moment. Yeah.
You're
For a
very
7-year-old.
So what do you do? You just keep going? Right out the end?
No, he finally, I mean, he got enough grip that he got back up there, but
That's funny.
It was an exciting moment.
Well, that's something, like you said, I mean, you'll remember forever.
Yeah, it was kind of seared into my brain, my 7-year-old brain.
Right. Oh yeah.
Okay, tell me about your bikes.
Light.
Tell me about your bike. It's a V-Star Classic, right?
This is a V-Star Classic.
1100.
Yeah, I picked it up about 4 years ago for 3,200. But then it got in an accident, and it just got scratched up a bit. So I got 1,200 from the insurance company, so it got it down to about 2,200.
Nice.
22,000.
So there's my bike. That's my BMW 1150 RT.
It's a very pretty bike.
2004, 75,000 miles, and it shows it. But it's fun to ride. It's still.
12 miles.
It has a lot of miles on it.
Somebody was a road warrior.
Yep. Somebody before I got it. Okay, and this is Aaron's bike.
Yeah, this is my bike. So one of my good friends bought this bike with like 5,000 miles on it, and then he died. So really sad.
Not on the bike.
Not on the bike. He was not on the bike.
Died
no.
from other causes.
Other causes, exactly. And then Casey bought this.
Yep.
Because he was looking for a bike, and I said, "Hey, I know a bike."
I know a guy.
Yeah, I knew a guy.
Knew a guy. I knew a guy.
Yeah.
This was your first big bike.
This was my first big bike. Yeah. It's great.
It's a V-Star 650.
It's really fun.
You know, kind of the baby V-Star, but it does a really good job.
So that dam broke in 1976 in June, and the water came out really fast. It wasn't just like some people picture a flood where the water rises. This one had an 8-foot wall of water, went from that canyon there all the way down the valley through Rexburg and Sugar City and some of the other places right through there, picking up houses and cars and animals, and it was really devastating. They evacuated everybody up to the hill. There's on these kind of all throughout this area, there's these high places like is in front of us here. And I can remember we were out fishing that morning. It was a Saturday, if I remember correctly, and we'd gotten up early and gone out. I was 3 years old, so I don't remember this too well personally, but certainly heard lots of stories about it. But I can remember being out fishing, and my sister, older sister, noticed that there weren't any birds chirping, which was really odd. And so they just like, wow, that's odd, something's wrong. And that's when we started to get notification that the dam had burst and everybody needed to evacuate immediately. And so we went up to my cousin's house. They lived up on the bench, and I can remember being up there, and we just thought it was a party because we got to hang out with our cousins and play. So it washed through the valley and did lots of damage. We're headed to another canyon. They call it Green Canyon, and it's where Aaron said that he was when the dam broke. There's a swimming area called Green Canyon Hot Springs that's been a very popular destination place for locals to go swimming. Hot springs, and they built a pool a long time ago, and I can remember going there as a kid. Pretty fun place. So we're gonna ride down that canyon to you can see the Tetons. You probably can't. I can see the Tetons. They're poking up behind that ridge right there. But looking directly into the sun with that kind of haze in the air, I'm not sure they'll show up on the GoPro. The Tetons are pretty beautiful mountains. If I remember right, this is the canyon. This canyon right here is the Green Canyon. There used to be a road right here. Right here is where you used to turn, but I believe they created a different road to bypass this guy's farm. He got tired of people driving through his farm all the time to get down to the swimming area. I think it's really cool how there's farmlands and then a canyon that sort of cuts right through the farmlands. It's a pretty neat geological feature of this area. Pretty area to have a house right over there. Not sure I would enjoy it as much in the winter, but it's a pretty place. The one thing about Idaho, this part of Idaho, southeastern Idaho, it's really pretty place. The winters are generally pretty cold, and there's a lot of wind, especially out on the dry farms like this. Get a lot of wind coming through, so you'll notice that people will build a house and there'll be trees all around it to try and block that
Not that way. It's a beautiful day today, though. Certainly. It's probably about 70 degrees now. Just about to. I've got a hoodie on under my jacket, and I'm just about to the point where I'm going to take it off because it's warm enough. And now we descend into the canyon. The leaves are just starting to turn. It's the first week in September, and you can see that the leaves are just starting to change for the fall. Between here and then you could go up this road, the Highway 33 that we were on, goes to Jackson Hole, and it goes over the Teton Pass. So it goes over that first line of mountains to get to Jackson. And that area from that road that goes over to Jackson through Driggs and Titonia, that area is really, really beautiful. Through Star Valley and Swan Valley, it's just picturesque. Pine trees and mountains and rivers, especially right by the Hoback River. That's really, really a beautiful area. I don't think we'll have time to ride over there today, but it's pretty. I can remember growing up, we would come, we lived in Rexburg, which was a pretty small town, about 30,000 people. It's a college town, and so not a very big city. And from opportunities for swimming and recreational activities like that, there weren't a lot of options indoors, especially in the winter. The city had a pool in Porter Park that was not enclosed at the time, and so it was only open in the summer. And so anytime you wanted to go swimming in the winter, this Green Canyon Hot Springs was pretty much the only place to go in the area generally. So we used to come out here quite a bit, especially in the winter. This road got snowed in quite a bit in the winter, and so you can imagine keeping it open is always interesting. So this is Green Canyon Hot Springs. They have a little camping area here that I've camped at a few times as a kid growing up. It's a really pretty little area. And that's the pool. It's been there for many years. First Oregon Trail travelers, Robert Stewart and Company, detoured 400 miles to avoid Indians and camped here September 30th, 1812. I'll walk you in and show you the pool for just a minute. There's a pretty canyon from this angle. There's a lot of volcanic type rock, porous rock in this area. If you look at this whole area from southern Idaho up through Yellowstone Park, there's evidence of volcanic activity millions of years ago. Kind of where Yellowstone sits now, area of the Earth's crust that's not as thick, and so there's been a lot of volcanic activity, which means that the soil here is good for growing potatoes, because that's the kind of soil that potatoes like. This right here is my grandparents' farm, pasture down here, and it's my grandma's house right there. Hey, there's my girl outside. When the flood hit, we lived right in this field right here. We watched our house gone. So we're headed out to the Menand Buttes, which is a geological feature that's prominent over here. They've got a big R for Rexburg painted on the side of the butte, and there's two buttes, this North and South Butte. They're next to each other, and they were formed from volcanic activity. So they're volcanic, itchy boots would know, craters, calderas. I don't know what they're called, but you can see where the magma cone came up and spewed forth plenty of lava at some point millions of years ago. But they're a pretty cool feature because they sort of just stick out of what is farmland all around, and BLM land. There's a lot of volcanic type rock in this area. There you go. So that's the North Butte, and that's the South Butte. The college in town used to be called Ricks College, and so I think that's what the R was for way back. When they first painted it, you can tell it hasn't been maintained for a while. Faded a bit, so it used to be very stark white. Everybody calls it the R Mountain. That's what they call it around here. They're also probably more officially the Menand Buttes. Menand is the little town that is nearest to them. This is the Snake River. Runs through this part of Idaho. My parents live a couple hundred yards from it. This is what the land looked like before they turned it into farmland. This land right through here is too rocky. I don't know if you can see, but the sagebrush and things are growing, and there's just rocks right along just right under the surface, so there's not a lot of good farmland right through here. This particular part, I believe, I could be wrong, but that probably has something to do with the amount of rocks that were formed around when these buttes were created. There's a hike and trail that runs right up to the top. You can go hike up to the top and walk around on the inside, and it's all hollow on the inside. This one is newer than the south one. The south one is older, and so it's more weathered. Pretty dramatic rocks right through here. Think about the lava flows that created these. The way these rocks look is pretty cool to think about. You can see the R from here. Bunch of radio equipment up on top of that hill. Cell towers and TV antennas and things like that. It has a stark beauty all its own out here. Really cool. Really cool area. Pretty overlook with all that farmland over there. This land, you can see where the farmland ends and the desert kind of begins. All this land over here is Bureau of Land Management land, BLM land. There's a bunch of four-wheel off-road trails and stuff over there, and some cinder pits that are fun to go ride motorcycles on. Spent a lot of time as a kid here and at the sand dunes, which are about in St. Anthony Sand Dunes, which are at about 15 or 20 miles north of here. Other side. Corn growing over here on the left. Wheat on the right, corn on the left. That's what I think. This right here is the trailhead where people drop their motorcycles and leave trailers and stuff, and they go right up into the BLM land. There's acres and acres and acres of it. It's pretty cool. This is the trailhead that starts the trail up to the butte. It kind of winds up there. It's pretty cool. Yeah, cool little Miata. Well, it's been a fantastic ride. It's starting to warm up. I think it's probably around 80 degrees now. It's been just a beautiful day for a ride, though. Really enjoyed it this morning. The South Butte is also called the South Butte because a family with the last name of South actually owns all the land including the butte itself. So it's always been known as the South Butte, even though it is the South one. But because the Souths owned the land. That building right back there was called South Industries. They have a lot of family that has homes right here. This is the Snake River right here. Again. Beautiful river. It's running pretty high. Well, I gotta say, this motorcycle is really good for what it was built to do, which is touring. It's really comfortable, easy to ride long distances for sure. I could just go on this bike all day long. On my MT-09, I get saddle sore after about 3 hours or so, and need to get off and walk around, and just, you know, the seat's a little harder and positions a little more upright, maybe a little more you know, lean forward a little bit. This one's got really comfortable seat. It's really easy to ride. It just likes to cruise on down the road. It's not a Goldwing, but it's a pretty fun bike for touring. Looks like we're gonna skirt around the outside of Manan. That's the city right there. Another good view of the buttes from here. This is the South Butte here, and then the North Butte back behind it. This little hill right here in front of us is another butte, but it's way older than these over here, and so it's been weathered almost to the point where you can't really tell anymore. But it's actually another caldera. I'm sure that's not really what they're called, but skirted right around that butte instead of riding over it. There is a road that goes over it. This road up here will turn left, but this road to the right here is the one that goes up over the butte. That's a cool little car. And that's it for today. Great ride in Idaho. A little bit different scenery than I'm usually recording in, so that was pretty fun. Got to see a couple of historic sites and explore some of the geology in the area. I enjoyed it. I hope you did as well. If you did, give me a big thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Get out and ride.